do this in prime time. Under the bright lights for you on the sidelines. The fans in the stands keeping doubly bright high. The gridiron fly guys, the green and the gold, yeah, they call it the franchise. The gizmos, the miles, the moves, the Kempleys, old spaghetti legs. Ricky Ray, Willie Bless, and whoever comes next to bring back the chip and add another brick to the legacy. Cause it's double E over everything. Double E is a legacy. Double E over everything. Double E, we rising up.
Led by Justin Rankin, the Edmonton Elks head to Winnipeg looking to keep building off their strong start to the season and remain perfect. The Elks, they're coming in on short rest after their impressive win on Saturday versus the Owls, while the home team Bombers, they have been waiting to get back on the field to bounce back from their loss to the Ticats 2 weeks ago. Edmonton hasn't won in Winnipeg since 2018. They look to check another box of the quote-unquote first since tonight. Elks Bombers, Thursday night football. But first, this is the Green and Gold Kickoff Show presented by Commonwealth Stadium. Thank you for everyone tuning in across the Edmonton Sports Talk audio streams at edmontonsportstalk.com. Tune in, iHeartRadio. For those watching on YouTube, listening on podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, we greatly appreciate you. Happy Thursday to you. Matt Iwanyk, Jay Milne with you here as we'll get you set for Elks Bombers, who are coming up just after 6 o'clock at Princess Auto Stadium. The Elks 2-0 on the season. The Bombers 1-1. Mr. Milne, how are you today?
Oh, fantastic. I'm so excited. I've been looking forward to this day all week because the Elks have a chance, and a realistic chance. This is not, Reed and I were just talking about Canada and the World Cup and the expectations and how you think, oh, good for Canada. They're
winning it all.
Yeah, like
winning the World Cup.
The Elks, to me,
coming home.
This has been building since, about the start of the EST Green and Gold Kickoff Show, or since the inception of it here at EST. That's the Commonwealth Stadium Green and Gold Kickoff Show. This has been building for the Elks to get to points like this in the season where you're 2-0. That's great. Feel good about it. But go to 3-0. Go, I was surprised to see that Winnipeg was favored in this game right off the bat.
5.5.
5.5 points.
Huge favorites right off the bat.
Now that has since dropped, but that to me says that the CFL does not still,
the odds makers.
The odds makers don't really think the Elks are for real yet. And okay, I can see that. That's why I think the Elks need to go out. And this would be another statement win to go into Winnipeg, a place they haven't won since 2018, and go and get a victory.
Well, as I was saying, it's the first since that they're trying to do. First win of the season. It was their first start of the season, 1-0. First time as the Edmonton Elks, first since 2019 that they had a winning record. Last week, first time that they started a 2-0 season since 2019. Tonight, as you mentioned, looking for their first win in Winnipeg since 2018. Looking for their first 3-0 start since 2017. And 17 and 18 are the big ones, because if you go back to 2019, the Elks have already followed the trend of 2019. They want to end it here. Mm-hmm. They started off 2-0 back in 2019. One of those wins actually being against the Montreal Alouettes down at Commonwealth Stadium. It was the opener, however, not the second game. But the Elks dropped to 2, or the Eskimos at the time dropped to 2-1 on the season because they went out to Winnipeg and took on the Bombers. So they don't want a repeat of 2019 anymore. They've done enough of 2019. Now we're looking at 2017 and 2018. The win against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, along with starting off the season 3-0. That's what the Edmonton Elks will look to accomplish tonight out in Winnipeg. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for your Edmonton Elks. For those on YouTube, you'll see the depth chart on your screen. For those listening at home, I will read it to you. Cody Fajardo, the starting quarterback, the men protecting him from left to right. Bordner, O'Donnell, Beard, Carter, and Murray. Rankin, the running back. Griffith, the fullback. And the receiving core, Mack, Luther, Cephas, Julian Grant, O'Leary, Orange. On the defensive side of things, the D-line, Taylor, Brinkman, Williams, Smith. But once again, Carney has that nationalized American spot, so he's listed officially as the backup, but we know Malik Carney is going to get a lot of playing time tonight. I will get to Jay on this momentarily, but Mogensen, the middle linebacker, in between DeBlanco and Logan Jr. The secondary, Garnes, the free safety, and the men on either side of him, Jackson, Ross, Williams, and Ford. Blanchard kicking, Julian Grant punting, Leak returning, and then a little bit of a change. Hladek is the long snapper in this one. There's a bit of an injury on that one. With that, Jay, the injury report.
Yeah, not good. I mean, Nick Anderson's on the 6-game injured list.
With a hammy.
With a hamstring. Now, you can come off the 6th game.
You can, but when you're going on, that means if they're putting you on the 6, going to take a few weeks.
Yeah. Now, we had Mark Killam on here Tuesday on the Mark Killam show on the Reed Wilkins show, and he said it wasn't as bad as initially thought. So, hopefully this is good news for Nick Anderson, but being on the 6th game is not good. Brandon Barlow's on the 6th game. Brett Boyko's on the 6th game. Obviously, Luke Burton-Cron, who the Elks lost last Saturday to an apparent Achilles injury. I don't think we'll see him for the rest of the season. Joe Robustelli, though, it looks to be getting close. Given that it was a short week, hamstrings, not really needing to rush into that. Okay, but the Elks, and we'll get into this throughout the show, I think the Elks receivers need to have a game tonight. And a player like Joe Robustelli can certainly help this team.
When you look at the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, once again, their depth chart is on your screen. Zach Collaros, the starting quarterback. Brady Oliveira, he's the beast for them. He's been with them for a number of years. He feels like he's been around for a long time. This is a guy in his 30s. He's not, but he's just been a top running back in this game for a long time. Ontario Wilson and Nick Dembski, they're listed on the start. They were questionable on the depth chart and the injury report as of yesterday. Expected that they will go today, but those are a couple big weapons for Zach Collaros. Defensively on the defensive line, you got Jefferson, and you got Jake Serezna, who's going up against his former club, and then Moxie in the secondary position. A couple players to watch when it comes to this Winnipeg Blue Bombers team. Weather for tonight's affair, it's about 22 degrees in Winnipeg. By the time the game ends, it'll cool to about 18 degrees. The only thing I don't like is 30% chance of showers and a risk of a thunderstorm.
Well, I've been looking and following the weather, like the radar map around Winnipeg. It looks like there's a little bit of a wet cell.
Don't tell me that.
East of Winnipeg, but it's not moving towards Winnipeg, Matt. It's just kind of sitting there, or if anything, moving east towards Kenora.
The last thing we need is a lightning strike in the area.
Matt, to me right now, from what I'm looking at, and trust me, over the past few weeks, I've gotten really good at reading these radar maps.
Do you have anything for Edmonton over the next couple of days?
It's terrible, Matt. It's terrible. I mean, we've had enough rain. The old saying is, well, rain, the farmers, they need good for the farmers. The farmers are saying, stop. The farmers are waving the white flag saying, we're good. Hey, Mother Nature, we're good. This is just absurd. It's supposed to rain
30 to 60 millimeters.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah. It's great. It's awesome.
I mean, wow. I really, if your business is affected by this, I'm sorry. Like, we're not trying to make light of it, but and I know there's
a lot.
There's a lot of people.
Rain.
Yeah, I bet you sump pumps were. They're probably sold out across Edmonton.
Well, the thing is that the water still has not settled. To get that much more water on top of what we have, it could cause. And so we have a special weather advisory in Edmonton because of this. That it could lead to flash floods or various things like that, or some sort of flooding and all those things. But also, just for you and I don't really want a lightning delay. That's all I don't want. And
as
you
don't
guys
want to be forced to hang out with me longer than expected.
It has nothing to do with that. It's just I have been here since 9. I'm expected to be here until about 9:30. I'm okay with that.
You can have a little nappy.
But it's just one of those I'd like to knock. Because got to come back and do this tomorrow.
I hear you.
And you're on the hangout with me tomorrow?
Yeah, that's going to be fun.
So you get enough of me?
You could say. I wouldn't say.
I never get enough of you.
I could never have enough of you.
You might get enough of me. I think most people would agree that they'd get enough of me at any given point.
That's not true.
To come on the Green and Gold Kickoff Show presented by Commonwealth Stadium, Play Alberta Game Day odds check. We'll hear from Cody Fajardo, keys to an Elks victory, as well as predictions and our 3 storylines of this game. But let's get to our kickoff question. Are you ready, Mr. Milne?
Ooh, I always look forward to this.
There are no options for this one. So this is kind of... This one... It's all on Jay.
Okay.
It's also on you, Nasty Chat, or you could jump into the inbox, 780-218-9999. Who has been the most underrated Elk to start this 2026 season? So, Rob Crosby, Rob from the Grove, says the rainy weather, which I liked. Tracy Ham and Eggs on Twitter also said starting O-line. But for you, who has been...
Who said O-line? For underwhelming?
Underrated. Not underwhelming. Underrated.
Thanks.
Who's been underrated?
Underrated.
So far? Because we know Justin Rankin and how important Justin Rankin has been for this team. And it was the way I was kind of going with this question of like, okay, it's not Justin Rankin. I don't want to talk about Justin Rankin in this because we'll talk a lot about him and give him his praise in due time. But who's been maybe an underrated player through the first 2 weeks?
Well, if you follow the team close, you would probably say that this player is not underrated per se. But generally, this position, the offense usually gets a lot of the shine. The offensive players, the quarterback, the star running back. So I'm going to go to the defensive side, and I'm going to say Cordell Jackson. Okay, who has been most underrated thus far. He is a pillar back there in the secondary. He's had a fumble recovery in 2 straight games for Edmonton. I think he's leads Edmonton's defense thus far in 15 total defensive plays through 2 games. I mean, he's noticeable. And the Elks are going to need to continue that tonight because Zach Collaros likes to take shots. And this Elks secondary gets a chance to play in a game, finally, that isn't a monsoon. So I think that's going to help elevate their game. Look for Cordell Jackson. That would be my answer, Matty, as to who's most underrated. You?
Yeah, it's an interesting one as posing that question because the reality is I don't think anyone has been poor, but there hasn't been really the big stars like Justin Rankin. Justin Rankin has carried this team for 2 weeks in a large way. I could go to the defensive side of things, but there's an argument I'll make almost for Cody Fajardo, where he's done what is necessary of this team. He doesn't have an interception. No, he has the one with Zach Mathis. I'm not going to throw that one on Cody Fajardo. It's a weird play. Ball gets kicked in the air. That's just a weird one that goes on Cody Fajardo's stat play. Finds a way to drive down the field in overtime or the short field, runs it in for a touchdown. It's a part of me that goes, Cody Fajardo, he's 2-0 as the starting quarterback now for the Edmonton Elks this season. And to a degree, not getting the full praise maybe as a starting 2-0 quarterback would get. Now, when you have a running back who's putting all the all-purpose yards that he has behind him, it's easy for us all to be praising Justin Rankin for all of that. But for part of this, I'll go a little bit to Cody Fajardo because generally a quarterback gets a little more praise when the team starts 2-0. And Cody Fajardo, we really don't talk about him. And that also kind of is a good thing. We've talked about game managers before. He's not doing things that are terrible. He's had his moments that have, that one throw to Austin Mack in the first half last week that was well off target. But he settled in and he's getting some things done. And I wonder more about the offensive game plan that they have as much as opposed to Cody Fajardo. So I have that one for a little bit. Do we have a nasty chat? Charlie's going, hey Jay. So just you. I expect a close one for sure. So
Charlie's my Sherwood Park brother. It's okay. We don't take nicely to Northsiders or downtowners. Okay,
that's cool. You guys just come and take our stuff in downtown Edmonton. You always want to just have our stuff, but not stick around.
Sure,
that's cool. It's not for everyone. Matt, it's a tough life.
I appreciate that you took Cody Fajardo.
Why is that?
Because I agree with you that he is doing just enough and doing the right things to get the job done. Do you know he is on the cusp of entering a very elite club in the CFL?
I remember one of them. I forgot the other one.
It's the 150 club. Now, 100/50. There's only been 8 players in CFL history that have thrown for 100 touchdowns and rushed for 50 touchdowns. With one more passing touchdown and one more, he's sitting at 99 and 49. With one more of each, he can become one of 9 players in CFL history to pass for 100 and rush for 50. Does that not blow your mind that there hasn't been more quarterbacks in CFL history that haven't done that? I mean, look at the list. These are the names. Damon Allen, Matt Dunnigan, Henry Burris, Doug Flutie, Tracy Ham, Kerry Joseph, Michael Riley, Russ Jackson. You are in the most elite of elite.
I'm actually surprised Michael Riley's on that
names. When you think of that, I'm sorry, Cody Fajardo, great guy, great dude, but it's like, wow. And it is funny if you look at Damon Allen, what did he have? 390 some passing touchdowns. So,
when you look at where some of those
Cody
guys
Fajardo
went,
would be getting in by the hair of his chin, but still, it's a great accomplishment.
I think for him and Michael Riley, what makes it a great accomplishment too is we're in the generation of CFL of the last 15, 16 years where you bring in a short yardage quarterback. where you're not going in for short yardage, punching it in. And they, and then the fact that they were able to get, now that's, Cody Fajardo has spent a couple years in Toronto as a backup, so he would have maybe got a couple short yardage that way. Michael Riley for Travis Lulay would have maybe got some of those. But that means they've also found ways to run them in quite a bit.
Yeah, like Nathan Rourke.
Nathan Rourke will be on this list.
A matter of time till he enters into that.
He's rushed a lot in his career. How many rushing touchdowns does Nathan Rourke already have in his career? Nathan Rourke, he's already got in his career 28 rushing touchdowns and 64 passing touchdowns. He's going to be on that list. But that type of running quarterback, often if they're close, they're going to punch him in. Like you're saying, Zach Collaro's not on the list. You're saying Bo Levi's not on the list.
I know.
I guarantee you they have 100 passing yards.
Oh, yeah.
But they don't have the rushing yards when it comes to it. Hopefully the Edmonton Elks don't have to see Zach Collaro's running for a touchdown today, though, like they did last year out in Winnipeg. Let's get into our 3 stories of this game. This is the Green and Gold Kickoff Show presented by Commonwealth Stadium. Welcome to the jungle. It's time to come alive and get ready to be thunderstruck. These aren't just songs of the biggest concerts of the season. Guns N' Roses, Foo Fighters, AC/DC, Post Malone, all coming to Commonwealth. For more information, all the biggest shows at Commonwealth, go to edmonton.ca/Commonwealth.
Are you going to a couple of these?
2 of them, AC/DC and Foo Fighters.
Really?
Never, I've said this will be the 3rd time I've seen AC/DC all at Commonwealth. Never seen Foo Fighters. Sadly, I'm not going to see them with Taylor Hawkins, R.I.P., but still a chance to see them. And Foo Fighters are always one of those bands that I know they do great stadium shows. So when they announced, it was like, I need to go to this one.
Yeah, Foo Fighters are great. That's tragic what happened with their drummer, Taylor Hawkins. And then to have the Dave Grohl news that came out as well. That was hard for me.
Because it's such a good guy.
Yeah. I really liked Dave Grohl, but now I can't like him as much.
Hey, he lost some stuff.
He lost a lot of respect, I believe.
But he's still a fun-looking dude.
He's great. He's a great performer. He's an amazing... one of the best voices in rock and roll history.
Why? He's one of the best drummers in the world.
Yeah.
He doesn't even do it anymore.
That's crazy.
Nirvana played one show in Edmonton. Starlight Room.
Was it? That's right. It was
91.
at the Starlight Room.
Well, the basement, I think it was at the time, it was called Bricks or whatever.
Okay.
Led Zeppelin has played in Edmonton twice. One time at Kingsman Fieldhouse.
Fun fact.
You were at that show?
No.
Okay.
Fun fact. So first it's Post Malone Jelly Roll, right? Then it's
then AC/DC,
then
then
GNR,
Guns,
then Foo Fighters. Fun fact. Stay tuned to the Reed Wilkins Show. That's all I'm going to say.
I don't even know what this is.
You can wager a guess, Matthew.
Well,
I'm just saying, because aren't these shows sold out?
If they're not, the best seats are long gone. I like AC/DC.
Are you upper deck?
Low upper deck.
Oh, beautiful.
AC/DC tickets went on sale at the start of the hangout, and Kayla wanted. She wanted to go. She's never seen them.
Oh, fun.
And I thought she's like, holidays open. I forgot. I'm like, they've been through here. I didn't think they would sell out that quickly. And because I missed them the last time they were here. This is the 4th concert at Commonwealth, I believe. And she's like, she got in the queue and she's like, there's a massive queue. And it took her a while. She got in, she got tickets, but I was stunned at how quickly the AC/DC tickets went.
I think
and Foo Fighters went pretty quick. We were going pretty quick too.
North Sat Skater says Foo Fighters are legit. Dave put on an amazing show with one leg a few years ago. Yeah, remember when he broke his leg?
Yeah, that he was at,
he had to sit in that big...
That was for Rogers. They had the throne.
That's awesome. I mean, you can't take away from his... He is one of the greatest performers. Yes. He's got one of the greatest rock and roll voices, like I said, of all time. And I don't think you can dispute that.
No. I had tickets to... they had a show at Rexall. I had tickets. However, I had to give them away. I gave them away to my cousin because I had the opportunity to host a night show. And I didn't really have many opportunities to host. So I took that opportunity.
And look at you now. Now you're you're the COO.
And I miss Mumford & Sons. It was back-to-back shows. And I miss both of those.
I'd miss Mumford & Sons.
Mumford & Sons, love them. Want to see them again. They made Rexall Place seem intimate. I couldn't believe that they did that.
Mumford & Sons just makes me want to cry.
I love Mumford & Sons.
Yeah.
We got to talk about a football game here, Jay.
We should.
Because that's coming up just after 6:30, so we're a little over 40 minutes away from kickoff. We've got 3 stories of this game still to come. Oh, no, actually, before we do that, we got to get to the game day odds check for Play Alberta. How could I forget about that? Because we have Jay and Matt's big play of the game. PlayAlberta.ca/EST for more information. All the money staying right here in Alberta. I heard you talking with Reed on your guys' show earlier that we are loaded with various specials. I've got 8 different CFL plays up right now. You have a play of the day from earlier. Zach's CFL play of the day. Early bird bet. Elks Bombers. That was Das and I from today. Elks plus 5.5, over 53 points, Rankin 40 receiving yards, Oliveira 83 rushing yards.
Thank you for reminding me.
Plus 745.
I wanted to get in on that.
Who did CFL? Oh, CFL points was from the Grant, or not from the DJ Den and the Nasty Chat Jeremy Lock Shop, which was Elks Bombers, Argos Riders, Stamps Lions, all to have 20 or more points each. That's plus 300. Your play of the day was Elks money line, Austin Mack anytime TD. That's plus 380. And then you and I sat down. We got the Jay and Matt's big play of the game. Unofficially 2-0 this year. Officially 1-1. Or is it the other way around? One of those. But Cody Fajardo over 225 passing yards. Austin Mack over 50 receiving yards. Justin Rankin. It's spelled wrong.
Yes!
It's spelled wrong.
Yes!
Justin Rankin over 3.5 receptions.
Come on.
And the Edmonton Elks plus 3.5. We have learned whenever there's a misspelling, it plays. It plays.
Oh,
That's
it plays
plus 550. So I'm just going to have to get on that one. Make sure I don't miss out on that one because we've got the misspelled play. Justin Rankin over 3.5 receptions. So that's Jay and Matt's big play of the game. If you just head to CFL and you look this game, the Edmonton Elks are 3.5 point dogs, plus 130 on the money line. The over under high one in this one, high all week. Across all 4 games, but over under is 56. But plus 130, 3.5 is the spread. Bombers favorite, as we mentioned earlier. The Edmonton Elks open up as 5.5 point dogs to start this week, so it has shifted a little bit to the Elks' favor. But the odds makers at this moment believe the Bombers will win by a little over a touchdown. Let's get to our 3 stories of this game, and really it's two-folded in this way. You've got 2 star running backs going up against each other. You got Justin Rankin going up against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers defensive line. You got Brady Oliveira going up against the Edmonton Elks defensive line. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers, 171 yards per game allowed to running backs in the first 2 weeks, whereas the Edmonton Elks, they're 91.5, or 112.5.
That's to all players, because
that includes
Davis Alexander.
Yes, overall rushing.
Torched them with
However,
their
when you dive into it, Daniel Adebayo with the Red Blacks, as well as Travis Dice last week for the Montreal Alouettes, they both ran really well against the Edmonton Elks defensive side of the ball. Both those guys getting touchdowns in their respective games. This is where game is going to be won or lost, I believe, today. Which defense has a better containment of the opposing running back? That team's going to win this football game. I don't think you can contain. You're going to shut down either of these guys. But who's going to do the better job of containing one of them?
Okay, if we're in the trust tree,
we're in the trust tree, Jay.
I'm going to tell you something.
I don't like where this is going.
I'm just going to tell you the
I don't
truth.
like where this is going.
There is a higher likelihood of Justin Rankin getting contained as opposed to Brady Oliveira. Brady Oliveira is going to go off. He's going to run. Now, how much and if the Elks defense front 4 can limit him, okay? Nick Anderson's out.
Yeah.
Nick Anderson is the emotional anchor leader of that defense and possibly the team. But, I mean, it was discussed through training camp. Brock Mogensen's not far behind, if at all. So the Elks' depth, once again, is showing out. Brock Mogensen needs to take advantage of this opportunity and lead that defense, because Brady Oliveira has the possibility, or he has the ability to put up 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. He does. Justin Rankin, we saw this last year. I mean, hey, I'm as happy as everybody with Justin Rankin's performances thus far. However, Justin Rankin was hit and miss last year. He'd go off for a few games, and then a week later, he'd have 12 carries for 32 yards, right? So as long as the Elks have the commitment to Justin Rankin, the commitment to using him in different avenues, the commitment to getting him outside the box, Justin Rankin can still be unleashed tonight. But I'm more worried about Brady Oliveira torching the Elks defense than I am Justin Rankin torching the Bombers defense, if that makes any sense at all.
Well, absolutely it does. We've seen Brady have some really big numbers against the Edmonton Elks over his time. He is like Justin Rankin, a dual threat. He not just is going to beat you in the rushing game, but he can beat you in the receiving game. Zach Laros has no problem checking down to Brady Oliveira when things are broken up. And then the Edmonton Elks are going to do their best to try to contain an Ontario Wilson and a Nick Dembski, who himself, Nick Dembski, is a killer of the Edmonton Elks over the last number of years. Sure. Does that leave open a Brady Oliveira? And are the Elks defensively ready to handle a Brady Oliveira? Which you're right, Justin Rankin has been more, we've seen more of him, being a guy that Olsen's not on the stat sheet as much. But I feel like some of that does come to the game plan more so than the performance of Justin Rankin. And that's where it's going to be on Jordan McSimic to be like, just give Rankin the ball. Like last week, give him the ball until Winnipeg shows that they have no other, you have nothing else. They've got him covered. You can't do anything. And then try to spread the ball a little bit more. But I'll say this, coming into this season, we know Justin Rankin was going to be a huge part of the Edmonton Elks offense. Everyone did. Every defensive coordinator around the league did. You can't tell me Ottawa Redblacks and Montreal Alouettes didn't know coming into the season Justin Rankin was going to get the ball. And they couldn't stop him. Not even they couldn't contain it. They couldn't stop him. He just went off.
See, that's the thing that,
and that's why I can't bet against Justin Rankin just yet.
Forgive me, because I have sinned. I forgot about the Justin Rankin factor. He was dead to rights several times last week as they hosted Montreal, overtime win. He was dead to rights in the backfield, and they still couldn't get him. So maybe this is the progression of Justin Rankin, and it would be a beautiful thing for Elks fans to see that it doesn't matter, that Justin Rankin isn't going to have this up and down season. He's going to be steady Eddie, and it's going to be a steady dose of high-powered Justin Rankin. Because if he puts together another game like this, Matt.
Like what?
Like what we've seen.
So we're talking 200 all-purpose?
Rushing, catching, touchdowns. Then Justin Rankin is in a totally different stratosphere than anybody else in the CFL.
I will just, if he could manage, I'll say like 80-50 today. 80 rushing, 50 receiving. I think the rest of the season, one of the things we'll have to do on the kickoff show every single game is the 1,000 watch. Where is he tracking? Because if he comes up and if he pulls up another big performance, because his receiving, I think he's on pace for 1,300 receiving yards. That's not rushing yards, receiving yards. He's on 1,300. So if he finds a way to get between that 50-70, and this is like a quote-unquote quieter game for him, I think we're fully on for the rest of the season until he has back-to-back very poor games. We have to be on the 1,000 watch.
But here's the thing. The Elks also need to give him the opportunity. They need to put the ball in his hands. Justin Rankin is one of, I'd say 3 or 4, big-time playmakers on this Elks offense. Give him the ball, put it in his hands, get him outside, get him inside, get him in the pass game, get him in the screen game. Good things will happen. We've seen, however, that Jordan McSimic, offensive coordinator for the Elks, has taken time to get things going. Not only in a season, but in a game. Look no further than last week. Cody Fajardo, who didn't have a great start, 1 for 5 for 5 yards through the first quarter. Last week, the Elks didn't get their first down until the final play of quarter 1. That's not going to be good enough. The Elks D did a good job hanging around and keeping the Elks in the game. But the Elks offense, to me, is kind of, because if Justin Rankin's not going off, Matt, they're 0-2.
Oh, 100%.
100%.
He has been just an absolute beast for this team.
I don't feel you can expect that kind of output from Justin Rankin every game. Now, if I'm proved wrong, that's amazing. The Elks receivers need to be a part of this passing game. They need to be a part of this offense. Cody Fajardo needs to push the ball downfield. He's done it. He's shown he can. And he'll put it into spots. That pass he made to Austin Mack last week. That was a bullet into
Great
coverage.
Throw, great catch.
Great throw, great catch.
Oh, that one. I'm thinking touchdown. You're thinking about the one at midfield.
Midfield.
Where as he threw that ball, I'm like, that's a stupid throw. I said that in the press box.
You're not wrong. But this team can do it. Call it. Let's go. Open up the playbook. Move the ball. And then if that's happening, that opens things up even more for Justin Rankin.
Just quickly doing a quick scan there of the last 2 seasons. Brady had some injuries, so he hasn't played every game against Edmonton. Last year, 117 yards and 30 receiving yards against the Elks. 2 years ago, he had a game with 127 yards and 2 touchdowns, adding 11 yards in catching. And then he had another game, 86 yards with 15 receiving. But when you look at the Justin Rankin, last year he had a poor game against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. He was 130 yards. Let me double check this one. Or he had 30 yards in the
130 yards. That's a hell of a game.
Yeah, he had 30 yards rushing and only 9 yards receiving in that week 4 game out in Winnipeg. But then so this is last year. And then what else? And then later against Winnipeg, he had 138 yards and a touchdown, along with -1 receiving. So not the greatest on that part, but still 138. So his all-purpose is 137 at a touchdown. That's unbelievable. And then in his breakout season, this is when the Elks had him. They had who's that? Kevin Brown. Mm-hmm. And there was another running. Javon Leake, I guess. He had 157 rushing yards and 109 rushing yards in back-to-back weeks against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. In that time, he didn't receive too much. So he's gone up against the Bombers, and historically, Justin Rankin actually has performed against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. So this will be a fun matchup that we're in for tonight down at Princess Auto Field. Second storyline of this game. You just talked about it there a little bit. And there does come a point where this team can't just be Justin Rankin, though. As much as you want it to be Justin Rankin, as much as this team probably could be carried for a large part behind Justin Rankin, there will be that time where he's not able to find that hole, or that the team is maybe going to have contained him. And do the Edmonton Elks have that offense to push the ball down the field? Do they have the receivers to catch that ball? And I there's a good argument to be made for the first 2 weeks that the rain got involved. The rain impacted the game plan of the Edmonton Elks. It was a lot of rain coming down in Ottawa. It was a lot of rain coming down in Edmonton. This game is not expected to have major weather by any stretch of the imagination. This is just going to be a prototypical normal football game. What are we going to see from Cody Fajardo? What are we going to see from this receiving core? When you look at the Edmonton Elks and Cody Fajardo this season, Cody has thrown the ball for 63 times this season. Only 11 of those throws have gone longer than 20 yards. It's not a lot. The other part, though, is only 10 of those have gone past the first down marker as well. So it's been 20 of his 63 throws have gone past the first down marker. I think you want to see that a little bit higher, especially in the 10 to the 19-yard depth throw there. I think you want to be able to push it a little bit more. What do you think we're going to see from a passing game from the Edmonton Elks today?
Well, like you've very well laid out, more of a passing game. Take your shots. Now, I don't think it's a secret. Like, Cody Fajardo does not have the arm of Bo Levi Mitchell. Cody Fajardo does not have the arm strength of a Davis Alexander. Okay, but Cody Fajardo can put it in spots. The Elks need to call for those shots. Call for Austin Mack to have a 15, 18-yard dig route across the middle, because they're talented. This receiving core is very talented. Once again, I'm just going to go back, and I look, the Elks are 2-0. I don't mean to be harping here, but Jordan Maksymic needs to do better. Jordan Maksymic, the offensive coordinator of the Edmonton Elks, needs to put the ball in his playmakers' hands. Justin Rankin, Austin Mack, Joshua Cephas, TJ Luther. Get the ball in their hands. Good things will happen. So you don't have to throw 50-yard strikes down the sideline, but you need to throw the ball downfield. If I see another 3 or 4 plays where the Elks need a first down and they're throwing a 4-yard route, that's unacceptable. And that's also on Cody. So be willing to throw the ball. Be willing to take shots. Not mid-range shots, 15, 20-yard shots. They're there. You have the athletes. Cody can get it there. Make it happen.
It's interesting comparison between him and Zach Collaros of those throws, too, because Both him and Cody have both thrown 63 times through 2 games this season. So it's actually a dead-on equal comparison that we could do here. Both have only thrown the ball 11 times beyond 20 yards. So that is the exact same. But the short throws versus the mid-range throws, significant difference. Cody Fajardo has thrown that, but short of a first down marker, only 9 yards or less of a throw, 43 times, while Zach Collaros has done it 28 times this season. When you look at that mid-range, Zach Collaros is at 24 attempts from 10 to 19 yards in his throwing, while Cody Fajardo is only at 9. So Cody is almost dead equal, or Zach Collaros is almost dead equal between his short throws and his mid-range throws, whereas Cody Fajardo either is just throwing short or he's throwing it long, and there's almost nothing in that middle, and you need to develop that one. And I'd love to see I want more of Cephas. I want more of Luther in this. These are guys that clearly Ed Hervey and Mark Killam are big fans of. They moved on from Benjamin Victor as well as OJ Hilaire, who's on the practice roster, though. They got passed by these two guys. It's time to see them then a little bit. And I think the small sample sizes we've seen of these two, these are guys that do look pretty good, but you got to get the ball near their hands or into their hands. And look, this Bombers defense, what we see about throw a bunch of, the Hamilton offense had their way with the Winnipeg defense a couple weeks ago. Here's your chance for the Edmonton Elks. This isn't this daunting defense of the Bombers from a couple years ago, at least to start this season. The Stamps are able to get points on this team. The Ticats are able to get points on this team. Let's go see this Edmonton Elks do it beyond Justin Rankin. So that's something I really want to see today.
Maddie, spewing the truth. I'm going to spew some truth right now as well.
Please. I love when you spew truth.
I got to go let my wife and kids in.
Oh, yeah. Go for it. Go for it. Should I make these the larges then? No. Are you sure? Yeah. I could bump it up. I'm going to get some boneless wings. I'm ordering pizza. So here's the question for everyone. I've got a couple. It was going to be Jay and I. We got some medium pizzas, 2 medium pizzas, as well as 8-piece boneless chicken. I think there's going to be, 5 of us now? 2 mediums enough? I don't want to eat a lot, and I don't want any leftovers. That's the only thing I got to figure out there. Or do I jump this up? It's going to, I was going to order it right now so it's ready right before kickoff, or do I wait till 6:30, just order a little bit more and get the couple larges? Bump them up. Yeah, I think you're right, Balaneski. There won't be the chicken as much. I'll just go with pizza. We could all load it up the pizza. I'll do that right away here. You're going to get that. This is the Green and Gold Kickoff Show. Matt Iwanyk and Jay Milne with you here. Well, Jay will be back right away. The Green and Gold Kickoff Show. It is proudly presented by Commonwealth Stadium, that beautiful concrete building. It's going to be hopping this summer. Hopefully the next home game on July 9th, we get the nice weather, so it could really
yeah.
They're here?
Yes.
Outstanding. Who's here?
April and the 2 littles.
Sweet.
There's a basketball practice over in St. Albert.
That's that way.
That's where I pointed.
Pointed that way.
St. Albert's kind of that way. It's northeast of where we currently are.
It's about there.
That's north.
It seemed like you were pointing east.
Yeah, no, they're here. They dropped off my oldest for practice, so they're gonna sit and watch some of the game.
Love it. You ready to get
don't mind?
Of course not. You ready to get to the next storyline of this game?
I can't wait.
The Edmonton Elks. This is the one worry I have about the Edmonton Elks. And Jay, I'll let you jump in a little bit on this. Well, not a little bit, because you're equal part of the show. I want your thoughts on this more as someone who... I wonder if this would have happened when you're at sea with the Canada West. Would have there been the team that had that? But you have the Winnipeg Blue Bombers who get dominated a couple weeks ago. They're sitting on a loss, but they get the bye week. They get the rest. The Edmonton Elks feeling really good about themselves. They're 2-0. They get the big win, but they get a shorter week. It goes Saturday to Thursday. Who does that benefit?
Well,
does it benefit anyone?
It's an interesting question because I think it's the worst case scenario for the Blue Bombers.
Okay.
And the best case scenario for the Elks. Why? Winnipeg lost heading into the bye week. That's a bad way to head into a week off.
You're just pissed off.
Vibes are low. Coaches are trying to get answers and there's no players around. The Elks are going into a short week after a win. That's the best case scenario. Vibes are high. Players are ready to go. Let's get right back out on the field. That's when you want to have a short week, is after a victory. You really do, because now you're thinking, okay, we're for real. We can go in there. You know, it just changes the whole emotional landscape of the team coming off of win as opposed to a loss like Winnipeg did, and then having to sit on it for 2 weeks. You think, Winnipeg's going to be pissed off. They're going to be angry. They're going to be hungry. They might be rusty too, Matty.
Yeah, well, and there'll be a little bit of rust, but I also think that from a coaching staff perspective for the Elks, they might sit there and go like, okay, guys, like there's no time to allow the team to get a little too high on themselves. There's no extra day off where the Elks get to just relax, maybe not be at the office and start feeling like, yeah, you want to know something? We are damn good. Look at us. Look at where we are in those power rankings. Look at where we are. Look at us doing this. Whereas, like, you play Saturday, I'm assuming in the office on Sunday for film, and then it's right into the action, right into
Players were off Sunday, but they were back in Monday.
Okay.
Coaches were there. Mark Killam said that coaches stayed overnight Saturday to Sunday. Some coaches did.
So you just got to get going. You have to be right into it immediately, and there's no time to buy into your own, there's no time to smell your own farts, if you will.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. That's the saying I'll go with.
Okay.
But there isn't time to go do that. So you're just right into the practice and trying to build off of what happened on Saturday. Whereas, this Bombers team, like it's going to be interesting. There's those dogs that are just barking at you as you're walking by the neighborhood house and they just want to get out. And like if that gate opens accidentally, like you're running for your life.
Look out.
Or maybe they're just coming to lick you. Right. Jump on you and start licking you, but they've just been. Who are these Bombers team? I don't know. Are they the angry dog?
Analogies
are they the angry dog, or are they the fun dog that just seems angry? But you just never know which one.
You never know. Who's to say?
Who's to say? But so that's when I look at this game, the only reason I outright am not just saying Elks money line, because I think what we've seen through 2 games this week and very short sample size, is that the Elks are a better football team than the Bombers right now. That I believe the Edmonton Elks maybe are closer to knocking on the doorstep of the Saskatchewan Roughriders for top of the West than the Winnipeg Blue Bombers might be. But it's the fact that just from the body perspective, a little more tired, whereas the Bombers have a better chance of being more rested. I know it's early in the season though, but I think there's just a little bit of an advantage there. And that's one of the worries I have, that when we get to the fourth quarter and it gets close, does the freshness of the Bombers help get them past the close football game, whereas the Elks are a little bit more tired? Or does the momentum what the Elks have of 2-0 and not having, to having sat after a big win against Montreal, does that allow them to carry through? This is also a big game because the Edmonton Elks were not a good road team last season. They also weren't, I'm just going to pull it up here quickly just so I don't get it wrong. They were 3-7 in the division. That's not going to be good enough if you're going to want to make a playoffs this year, or if you're going to want to be if you want to host even, or if we're going to talk, you want to be top 3 in the West, you're going to need a strong division record because that's going to be the start of tiebreakers and stuff. So you want to get yourself off to a good foot on that one as well.
Great point.
You need to go get this win against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Again, 3-7 last year. I know it's, we're getting into other past years. 5-5 the year before that when they went 4th in the West. So you want to be above 500 without question within your division. And tonight gives the Elks their first opportunity to go to win against the West. So there's your 3 storylines of this game. It should be a fun one. We are 20 minutes away from kickoff down at Princess Auto Field out in Winnipeg as the Bombers will be taking on the Elks. The Elks looking to go 3-0 for the first time since 2017. Also win in Winnipeg for the first time since 2018. Oh, Tunisia scored. You know that?
It says 1 beside their name.
Oh, see. Oh, they just scored 2.
Oh,
missed that. What do we've got in the nasty chat? I've been neglecting a little bit on the show, so apologies today. Kastura, when was the last time the Elks had this much hype and buzz going around the city? I feel like the first time since the name change. There have been a couple of times of buzz coming through Labor Day over the last number of years, actually. I think over the last 3 years, the Elks have had a nice little run at the end of August, the beginning of September, that has led to a nice buzz around the Labor Day rematch. In terms of pre-Labor Day, though, which is very important to having people and fans wanting to come out, this is by far the most. Like, I don't know if you saw Dusty's poll from the weekend going in on Monday. What was the bigger deal over the weekend, the Elks starting 2-0 or the Oilers signing a third-line center in Dickinson? And the Elks actually won his Twitter poll with like 2,500 votes on it.
Really?
Well, yeah, I was very surprised by that one.
That is good. And that's a good point. That was Costura that said that.
Yes.
And even Box Pounder adds on to it and says the vibe is different this year. The hope doesn't feel false. And I would agree with that. I think, and that's what the struggles of the last few years, well, specifically last year. Okay, there was all these changes that happened and all this turnover from the president down to the head coach, down to the players. That just doesn't happen overnight. Now you're starting to see some of the fruits of that labor. You're seeing this ripen right in front of your eyes. This team is now definitely more connected. They're coming together at an earlier point in the season than they did last year. And that's why I've said, I think this team has the capability. They have the roster to do big things this year in the CFL. That's why I think this is a big point. Western Division opponent, the chance to go to 3-0 and really make the rest of the CFL turn their head and say, okay, this team is for real.
Box Pounder with also an excellent point too, saying the vibe is different this year. The hope doesn't feel false.
Yeah.
And I think that for that, it's because it's who they beat last week. The fact that it was the Montreal Alouettes and no longer can you say Davis Alexander is undefeated in the regular season. Because of the Edmonton Elks. That's why we're able to no longer say that. With who they beat, there's true reason to be optimistic for the rest of this season. And if you go get a victory today, I think now we're in the conversation of where does this Elks team go this year?
True.
The ceiling is as high as any other team, I would say, in the Canadian Football League. Would I put them ahead of Saskatchewan or Montreal right now to be favorites if they win today to win the Grey Cup? No. But do they get in the Grey Cup conversation if they start 3-0 to me? I think we have to if it's a solid performance here today out in Winnipeg. Christer also saying Elks are going to finish the season with a positive record. Well, you know what that means if they finish with a positive record.
Jay's play of the day. Catches.
The big time. Before we hear from Cody Fajardo, the quarterback of your Edmonton Elks, Mark's Vox. Oh, I think I worked with him back at the old place. Yeah, I think that's him. The quick kickoff question: who's been the most underrated Elk to start this season? Waiting for Carter Kettle to explode. It's probably a little early for this question, but give him a week or two. He's listed on the depth chart for this one. We'll see how much if we get Carter Kettle at all. U of A product. He's been on the Reed Wilkins show with Jay Milne a couple times, if I'm not mistaken.
He has.
So it's fascinating to see if he draws in any way, shape, or form into this lineup, and if he can contribute in any way, shape, or form.
It would be interesting. It would be great to see him on the field. Carter Kettle exploding.
It's not exploding?
Yeah, it's probably not happening this season, I would say, unless there's injuries. And I mean, it's not that he's not capable. Okay. There's just more established veteran players that are ahead of him in the lineup, really.
Could he go get 2 catches for 25 yards?
Heck yeah.
A big first down on one of those?
Yeah.
That's what I'm intrigued by, if we're going to see that from Carter Kettle. With that, let's hear from the starting quarterback of your Edmonton Elks, Cody Fajardo, speaking with the media a little bit earlier this week.
Well, you addressed this issue after the game, but talking about the block, you look more excited on throwing the block than winning touchdown.
Yeah, honestly, I've made a lot of good plays in my career, but that's up there with a lot of them. The fact I was telling my wife about it after the game, I was like, it was just like so movie-esque. You know, it was raining, I lay out for a block, and Rank goes and scores. It wasn't like it was a 2-yard gain, it was a touchdown. So the guys on the sideline made me feel pretty good about it, and that always makes you feel good about laying your body on the line. I just want to win football games. I don't care how it looks, I just want to win football games, and I hope that kind of just inspires our guys more and more as the weeks progress.
Is that one of those lead by example type movements?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, like I said, I'm going to show the team every single week. I might not throw for 400 yards, but there's going to be some things that show up not in the box score that I want to help this team win games. And I've seen it year in and year out, and there's a formula that I have for winning football games, and I've had a lot of success with it. So I try to stick to the script, and if it calls for an occasional block, it calls for an occasional block.
You talk about the buy-in to block and the run, though. And people look at the guys up front, and obviously those guys are most important. But, I mean, we had Keon throwing blocks. Luther was throwing blocks. the buy-in you need to have from basically non-offensive linemen to really sell out in the run game.
Yeah, there's two things to that. I called our receivers out when we were watching film because I felt like week one our perimeter blocking wasn't the greatest. And in those rain games, that's the difference between a 6-yard gain and a 60-yard gain.
Yeah.
And they answered the call. Like, they were tremendous with their demeanor. You know, it's really one of those things where you look around the league, teams are throwing for 400 yards. You know, they got a little bit nicer weather. We're out here grinding it in the rain. And I told the receivers this morning, actually, I'm just really, I want to commend them on how they've approached both of these games. It's not easy as a receiver when you know it's dumping rain, you know the game plan is going to be quick passes, hard runs, and you just got to block for a majority of the game, maybe get 1 or 2 balls. And I commend them. They showed up. There was no complaining on the sideline. They just wanted to win the football game as bad as I do. And when you got guys like that in the building, you can win a lot of football games. So hopefully we can get them on the back end when it's a little bit nicer out and we can start throwing the ball a little bit more. But the way Rank's playing, like, why not get that ball, the ball in that guy's hands?
So on the winning score, I mean, it was the accidentally on purpose goal. You scored the touchdown. Now, look, some running backs may not like that, and that would be really hard for their ego because they want the game-winning touchdown. I noticed the first person to congratulate you was 5.
I told him that after I said, how the heck did you get down there so fast? Because when I pulled the ball, he was getting tackled. And I went down there, and then when I looked back at it, I was like, how is he the first guy down there? I think it's because nobody else expected me to have the ball, so that kind of caught him by surprise. And he was the only one who truly knew what was going on. But something I did a lot in college, I used my legs, and when the game's on the line, I want nothing more than the ball to be in my hands. Winners want the ball when the game's on the line. Great quote from The Replacements, one of my favorite movies, and so when the game's on the line, you always want the ball in your hands.
Are short weeks easier in the beginning of a season compared to later in the season, or is it just a challenge?
I think it's, that's what makes this CFL game so unique and special is the short weeks. You know, NFL will have it time and time, but every team's going to have their short weeks. I think early on, there's a little bit of a benefit to it because there's not a lot of tape to kind of scheme, so you just put stuff in and you're just kind of basing what they've run in the past, so you just don't overthink it. Sometimes later in the year when you have a short week, a lot of tape, you're just trying to get everything in because you feel like you're behind. Right now, you don't feel like you're so behind, especially them coming off a bye week. Like, I don't feel like I'm behind on tape just because it's a short week. So that gives you confidence going into the week. Winnipeg's got a very veteran group. Their defensive coordinator, even though they've switched over the last couple of years, runs a lot of the similar stuff. Now they're going to have a couple nuances, couple differences, but you have a good idea. They just run their stuff extremely well, and that's why they've been so successful in this league because they know what they're running, we know what they're running, but they just do it so dang good. It makes it very difficult on opposing quarterbacks like myself.
There's Cody Fajardo, quarterback of the Edmonton Elks in the Nasty Chat. Alabama loves the Elks. From used to could. Auburn Tiger fan looks like, based on their.
When you think of Auburn, what athlete comes to mind?
Cam Newton.
Really?
Auburn was Cam Newton for me.
Gross.
As you just said that was the first thing.
You don't think of Bo Jackson or Charles Barkley?
They were before my time. Charles Barkley was. They were before my time.
That's
they were before
painful.
my time.
That's painful.
Charles Barkley was an MVP by the time I was born. I think. When did he win the MVP?
Cam Newton, though?
Yeah, he won them a national title.
Gross.
Charles Barkley won an MVP in 1993. I was 2. You said Bo Jackson? Bo Jackson started playing for the Raiders in 87. I wasn't born. Why would I think of those two for Auburn at all?
I don't know. Because Bo's got a statue outside the stadium?
Yeah, but
Cam Newton have a statue?
I don't know, but I saw a cat. Did they win them a national title?
Cam Newton's weird.
Won them a national title. Oh, apparently my niece was watching us and she was smacking my face on the TV. Thank you to my niece. Hello to those that are watching.
Thanks for not smacking me.
Yeah, I like just smacking me. This coming in from Trail BC, Cody. Hey, do you guys think the Elks will win the Grey Cup this year? Cody, which ball? I have family out in Trail BC. I think it's too early to start saying that they will win the Grey Cup this year. But as I said, if they go 3-0, I think we could start looking at maybe a conversation of could they get in there. I don't know what you think, Jay.
Of course they can win the Grey Cup. Any of the 9 teams right now can win the Grey Cup. We're in week 4 of the CFL season. Now, do I think that's likely? hey, if the Elks can continue doing this, and particularly, what do they always say? What wins championships, Matty?
Defense wins championships.
Defense wins championships. And this Elks defense has been very good thus far. They have the best net defense in the CFL through week 3 of as per the stats. So yeah, if this defense can keep playing the way they are, there's no telling where they could get to this season.
What about Gretzky, Matt? Too young for him? I saw Wayne Gretzky play with the Edmonton Oilers. Well, not really. I saw him play with the Edmonton Oilers at the Heritage Classic. I saw him playing in the NHL. Bo Jackson retired in 1990. Before I was even born, Bo Jackson, his career was done. Charles Barkley, I remember him from Space Jam, but that has nothing to do with Auburn. Just because I saw him. Why would I know the college right off the bat? What do you remember from Shaquille O'Neal?
LSU.
No, you don't.
Of course.
Absolutely not. You don't remember LSU.
That's why I'm a fan of the Go Tigers, or Go Geaux Tigers.
Quick, Dave in Section T, key to the game. D-line gets to Zach Claros. Elks could crush the Bombers. Babu Stash. O'Leary Orange TD today, plus 500. Let's tinkle it. Would you be on an O'Leary Orange touchdown? I'm surprised it's plus 500. I feel like it should be tougher, longer odds than that one.
I mean, O'Leary Orange has yes,
You
sure.
would tinkle it?
Of course I would. Get it up.
And then Sean, is Edmonton Calgary Labor Day road trip to Calgary happening? We are going. There's a plan for it. We just have to sort out the details. That's what I could say.
Finalize.
Just got to finalize. Why are we wishing YouTube Trev? Oh, because he's Cody Fajardo. I get it.
Yeah.
YouTube Trev says, wish me luck today, guys. I'm going to be slinging it. Your key to an Elks victory, Mr. Milne.
I kind of like what Dave in Section T said there. I think if this Elks defense can come through and make Cody Fajardo uncomfortable. Cody Fajardo has the ability to throw the ball, and not always accurately. Look, Cody Fajardo can put up numbers, but the more he throws, the more opportunity there is for this Elks secondary, which I've said, and I'm sticking by it, is the best secondary in the CFL. And I don't even think that's going to be disputed or up for debate come the end of the season. Go get the ball, be ball hawks, win the turnover ratio, but defense will win this game. Defense needs to come through and disrupt Cody Fajardo or Zach Claros, which will lead to turnovers.
To me, it's not an easy one. This, you could call it a cop-out, but it's containing Nick Dembski and Brady Oliveira. Those are the two Elks killers. Those are the two guys that always have big games against this team. And when we're talking about the Edmonton Elks having a loss to Winnipeg Blue Bombers, I tell you more often than not, we're talking about Brady having 100+ all-purpose yards, Nick Dembski over 100 yards and a touchdown. Those are two guys that are just killers for the Edmonton Elks. You got to find a way to contain both of those guys. I don't know how you do it, but those are the guys that you have to zero in on and eliminate them from the Bombers' attack. And I think you have a chance to win. What's your prediction for today?
Elks 31, Winnipeg 27.
Elks move to 3-0 based off of that prediction. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the Green and Gold Kickoff Show presented by Commonwealth Stadium. We've got Turf District coming up next, actually, on our audio streams here. And then Jay and I will be back with the Green and Gold post-game show presented by Commonwealth Stadium, recapping all the action between the Edmonton Elks and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. As we said, Balinetsky saying, is Dembski playing doubtful or questionable? He was questionable yesterday. He was on the depth chart. So I don't know officially if Dembski will be playing, but so is Ontario Wilson on that one. We'll watch this game. We'll come back. We'll recap this game. The Elks looking for 3-0 for the first time since 2017. Looking for their first win in Winnipeg since 2018. Can they get it done? Jay thinks so. And I think a lot of you think so as well. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Green and Gold Kickoff Show presented by Commonwealth Stadium. On behalf of Jay Milne, I'm Matt Iwanyk. Enjoy this football game, and you know where to come right when it's over. It's right here, Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports, presented by Play Alberta. Enjoy the football game. Talk to you.